I'm leaving Kitchener. I have lived here, I have worked here, I built my business out of here, and I am done. But before anyone reads that the wrong way, this is not a video about Kitchener being a bad place to live. It is the opposite. I'm going to give you the most honest breakdown of this city you will find anywhere. The good and the bad with real numbers behind every claim. And by the end, I will tell you exactly why I am leaving. It does not matter whether you already live here or you are sitting somewhere in the GTA wondering if Kitchener is where you should buy. My reason for leaving might be the reason you should think twice about living here, or the exact reason why Kitchener is the perfect place for you. By the end of this, you're going to have a clear, logical way to decide whether Kitchener makes sense for you, regardless of whether you're staying, leaving, or buying in for the first time. My name is Gaurav. I am a realtor working across the Greater Toronto area, and I help buyers make decisions using in-depth research and actual data. Stick around because by the end, you will know whether Kitchener is the right place for you to put down money or not. I live in Huron Park, in the south end of Kitchener. It is a quiet, family-heavy pocket of the city, close to the expressway, somewhat close to Highway 401, walkable to parks, and it is the kind of place a lot of young families move to when they want space without paying GTA prices. I have liked living here. So when I say I am leaving, understand it is not because the city let me down. Now before I get to why I am leaving, you need the real numbers on this market because they change how you should think about buying here either way. Let us start with the thing everyone wants to know, which is what has happened to prices here. Because Kitchener and Waterloo have come down meaningfully from the peak. And if you are a buyer, that is the part you need to understand clearly. As of May 2026, the average sale price across the Waterloo region was about $744,000. That is down roughly 5.7% from a year earlier. But the year-over-year number undersells how far this market has traveled. Back in February 2022, the typical home here pushed past $1 million at the peak. So what you're looking at now is a market that has fallen well off that high. Breaking the data down by property type, in the city of Kitchener as of May 2026, single-family homes averaged around $800,000. Semi-detached homes came in around $600,000 on average. Townhouses are sitting around $550,000 on average, and condos averaged around $375,000. Across all property types, the city average was about $712,000, down 3% from a year earlier. But keep in mind, these are averages. The newer South End homes around Doon South and Huron Park sit at the top of each range. But across the board, Kitchener is a buyer-friendly market right now. Inventory is up, sales are running well below the 10-year average, and homes are sitting on the market longer than they did a couple of years ago. Now, Kitchener is not one market, it is several, and the neighborhood you choose changes your commute, your schools, the type of house, and what your money buys more than the citywide average will ever tell you. I'm going to walk you through the major neighborhoods the way I would if you were sitting across from me. And by the end of this, you will know which pocket fits the life you are actually trying to build. Now, Doon South is the newest master plan part of Kitchener, sitting in the far south end and mostly built out over the last decade. The homes here are modern, newer detached houses and contemporary townhomes with open layouts, double garages, the kind that move fast with a young family. A big part of why families target it is the schools like Groh and JW Girth Public School, which sit right in the heart of Doon South and are among the stronger elementary options in the city. On the commute, this is the best position in the city if you drive, because Doon South connects straight to 401, so you are on the highway in minutes. The trade-off is the train, because the Kitchener GO station sits on the far northeast side of the city, one of the longest drives to the platform from anywhere in Kitchener. You also pay top of the market Kitchener prices here for the newer homes and the better school district. Huron Park runs along the same southern stretch, but it is more established with a wider mix of housing. You get most of the same advantages as Doon South, close to 401, family heavy and walkable to parks, but the homes skew a little older and more varied, which often means more house for the money than the brand new builds. Huron Park also holds one of the strongest school catchments in the South End, anchored by Janet Metcalf and the Huron Heights Secondary School. The commute is the same as Doon South, somewhat strong for the 401 drive, but a 20-minute drive to the GO station. Plaza, schools and parks are all within a few minutes, with trails leading into deep woods for a quick weekend trek. Grand River is the pick for buyers who want nature as a daily companion rather than a weekend trip. It is built around the Grand River Trail and the Lackner Woods natural area, so trails, river, and green space sit right at your doorstep. And the Chicopee Ski and Summer Resort is minutes away for skiing and tubing in winter and mountain biking in the summer. The homes lean newer and the neighborhood is very family oriented. On schools, Grand River is genuinely strong, anchored by Lackner Woods and Chicopee Hills. Both well regarded among local families, so the outdoors lifestyle and the good school catchments come together here. Commute is the reverse of the south end. You are much closer to the GO station, so this is the better pick if the train is your plan rather than the car. Forest Heights and Laurentian Hills. These two western neighborhoods belong together because they offer the same core trade. This is where you go for established, older, larger homes on bigger lots than the south end gives you. Forest Heights is the original western suburb, mostly single-family detached homes running from post-war bungalows to larger split levels and two-story homes. Laurentian Hills, just south of it, is similar in era, with back splits, side splits, raised bungalows and two stories, mostly from the 1970s and 80s on mature tree-lined streets. You're not buying new here. You're buying space and more square footage for the money. The schools are decent and both sit next to genuinely good amenities. Your weekly and monthly shopping is covered by the massive Boardwalk Plaza and the Sunrise Center nearby, so daily life will be easy. In the $1 to $1.5 million range, Kitchener stops being a compromise and starts being an upgrade because that same budget buys you a home that would be well out of reach for the equivalent in most of GTA. The clearest example is the Deer Ridge neighborhood. It is the closest thing Kitchener has to a flagship luxury neighborhood. The homes are executive style and custom builds, most from the last couple of decades. They are wrapped around the Deer Ridge Golf Club with walking trails throughout. In this price band, you're looking at large homes, often 3,000 square feet and up, on huge lots with finishes to match. Chef's kitchen, vaulted ceilings, spa-style en-suites. Deer Ridge sits just minutes from 401, so this is the rare pocket where top of the market and the best GTA access line up in the same neighborhood. One distinction people from outside the region always miss: Kitchener and Waterloo are two separate cities pressed right against each other, and they are not the same. Waterloo skews younger and more tied to the two universities with a heavier student rental presence. Kitchener is larger, more mixed and more family oriented. If you're buying for a family, you're usually weighing Kitchener pockets. If you're buying near the universities or investing in student rentals, that tilts towards Waterloo. The one place that distinction flips is schools. If a top-rated school is the single most important thing on your list, the strongest catchments in the region are not in Kitchener. They are next door in Waterloo, where elementary schools like Abraham Erb and high schools like Laurel Heights sit among the 9 rating band on Facer. So if schools override everything else for you, point your search there. Everything I just showed you is real. The value, the schools, the economy, and the neighborhood I live in. Kitchener did not fail me. So then what happened? Well, the reason is commute. My wife is back working from office, we have a baby at home, and my primary business is in the Greater Toronto area, which means a large part of my working life is spent getting from here to there and back. That drive day after day is the part that stopped working for us as a family. So let me be fair about the transit reality because it is the single most important factor for anyone weighing Kitchener. By train, Kitchener go to Toronto is about an hour and 40 minutes one way. That's just the train, not door-to-door commute. And if you don't take the train, then you're driving the 401. And the 401 is the real pain point. It is unpredictable, weather sensitive, and at peak it is brutal. And even if you want to pay to escape that traffic, there is no 407 here. You have one highway in and out of it from the GTA. That is why I am done. Not done with Kitchener, but done with commuting from it. Kitchener is the right place to buy if you work remotely or locally in the region and you want more home for your money than the GTA gives you. It is right if you value a quiet, family-oriented community and you can live with the commute reality because you're not doing the GTA commute every single day. For a lot of first-time buyers priced out of Toronto, that is exactly the trade that makes Kitchener worth it. And the recent price correction has made the entry point more reachable than it has been in years. Kitchener stops making sense the moment a daily commute into the GTA becomes non-negotiable, because that time cost compounds. It is not the occasional trip that breaks you, it is 3 days or more a week that does. So if you're thinking of buying here, be honest about that commute before you buy. And if you already own here and the commute is what is wearing you down, you have more options than you think. If you do not have much equity in your home yet, You do not have to wait until you build it to fix your life. You can lease out your kitchen or home and lease closer to where you need to be, which can keep your monthly cash flow roughly the same while the commute disappears and your time comes back. Remember, the property prices have crashed in the GTA, but so has the rental market. The thing to check is whether the rent your home would command reasonably offsets what you would pay where you are going. Run that number. Now, if you're breaking even or sitting on real equity in your kitchen or home, you have another option worth thinking about, because you could sell and use that equity to move closer to where your life actually is. And even if the numbers come out roughly even, the peace of mind of getting your commute, your time back, can be worth exploring on its own. I'm not going to tell you the market is perfect or that you need to rush. Prices across the GTA have come off from their peak, and there is more choice for buyers than there was a couple of years ago. So your equity does certainly go a lot further today than it used to. Whether that is enough to make the move make sense is a personal decision for you that you need to think about. Now that is exactly the kind of thing I walk people through on a call with me. Which path fits you depends on your equity and your numbers and your comfort level. And that is a real conversation, not a one-size answer. And that is the whole reason I made this video. A city is not good or bad in the abstract. It is good or bad for your situation. Kitchener is a genuinely strong place to live. It just stopped fitting my life. If you're trying to figure out whether Kitchener fits yours, book a call with me using the link in the description. We will look at your actual situation and figure out what makes sense for you right now. And if you're not at the call stage yet, but you want to understand the full home buying process from start to finish, I have a recorded webinar available through the link in the description. It walks through the whole journey from getting your financing in order to making an offer and closing, so you go in knowing what to expect at every step. You can watch it at your own pace whenever you're ready. If this helped you make sense of Kitchener, share it with someone who is thinking about buying here or weighing a move in or out of this region and trying to figure out their next step. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.